thought it would be fun to do a life update, just tell you what's going on with me and get ready with me using all the makeup from my favorites drawer. So if you watched my decluttering video, which was so long, but a lot of fun to do, I showed you that I was going to do a drawer of just absolute favorites, the stuff that I just don't want to think about my makeup, I just want to do it. I know it's gonna work no matter what. I'm gonna do a full face using that, which is a lot of the makeup you guys, if you're around here regularly, have seen me use. But it's also fun to just see it all put together. I already used one thing, and it was my Professional. I still am using my tiny little one. And I don't know if it's so hydrating, but it does do wonders for around my nose. I am going to use True Match Nude. This is the 2-3. I usually buy 4-5, but this seems a little dark lately. My tan is starting to wear off, so I wanted to go with a lighter one today. I will tell you that the last couple weeks have been kind of a doozy. Okay, this color is looking really good. Yay. Okay, I seriously think my neighbor just started blowing or doing something. Without fail. Without fail, they do this, but the last, I would say, 3 weeks have been so not normal. Let's back up a little bit. I was talking to my sister Barb. My sister Barb is 8 years older than me, and she's 64. I'm sure she loves that I'm telling you all that. My mom is in a nursing home. She lives up near my sister. So she and I were talking about probably something about mom related. Then my sister informed me that over the weekend, she had a skiing accident. It was not good, to say the least. They had to have the emergency sled brought up, and they had to ski her down on a stretcher sled thingy, and then an ambulance ride to the hospital. Long story short, what she did is she basically blew out her knee and her leg. The doctor said it was like she had a cookie. Here's my cookie. You put it on a countertop and you smash the cookie down, and all of that's what her kneecap looks like. 6 weeks, I think, of non-bearing. She cannot bear weight on it. She lives north of Green Bay, Wisconsin. We're talking about 14 to 15 hour drive. We decided that I would go. I want to drive, and my husband thought I was nuts, and everyone else thought I was nuts, but for some reason I did not want to fly. I went halfway to Toledo, Ohio, and I stayed in a Marriott halfway there. I fall asleep at the wheel really easy. Like, I've done it a couple times, and so I'm very conscious over the fact that I do that. So I decided to download a couple audiobooks. Oh my heart. Such a world of difference. I chose a Kristen Hanna book. On the way up, I listened to The Great Alone. Such a good book, and the woman who read it was so good. On the way back, I listened to, what is the name of it? Firefly Lane, another Kristen Hanna book, because I wanted it to be a book that I knew I would like the author. I couldn't start an audiobook where I was bored at all. Then I wouldn't listen and I'd probably fall asleep. It's actually a Netflix series now. I'm not real happy with the Netflix series. I started watching it. I don't know. I haven't finished the book because now I have it in audio. So I decided every time I go to the gym, I'm going to listen to it while I'm doing the treadmill for a half hour. Or if I'm doing any kind of other, like walking around the park by myself. Okay. Talking and doing eyebrows is a difficult thing, but I'm going to attempt. Okay, I can't do this on camera. I'll be right back. All right, eyebrows are done to a point. I didn't put any gel or anything in it yet. I do that after I do eyeshadow and stuff. I do want to put some concealer on. I'm feeling a little dark. And I completely forgot where I was in the story. Okay, I'm going to do a concealer. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I have used this a lot, as you can see. But I'm actually going to mix this. This is a little dark. Do I want to use this? All right, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to mix it in with the Tarte by the Sea. I'm going to mix those two to make it be a little bit lighter. Sometimes I feel like you've concealed, but now you've also just made yourself look older. So do you really want to do that? So I went out, I drove the 2 hours, listened to the books on the way. 2 hours, oh my heart, 2 days of driving. I had hurt my back, so I wasn't feeling all myself I'm still not feeling completely healed from that. I'm being very careful at the gym. Okay, my favorite under eye powder is number 7's Lift and Illuminate. Okay, so I spent a week with my sister. We did all that, blah, 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 blah. I was thinking I was going to come home and be able to get right back to work. I got a text from my former boss at the school. And the position that I left at the school had opened up again, which I knew. I spent a month there, the month of January, filling in because I felt bad. I just felt bad that they needed somebody there. Doing my old position, I was an executive administrative assistant at a small Christian school. The person who took my job had left, and I promised them when they found somebody, I would come and train the person for about a week. Sadly, it was literally the week I was gone, and I had not done any of my job here as a YouTuber. And she called and she was like, "Can you come?" I'm like, "I promised I would come. Yes, I will come." So that was all of last week. I was at my old job doing that. I'm gonna put on, this is Perricone MD No Makeup Eyeshadow. I got this during probably Amazon Prime days, and I got it for such a deal. And then I found out how much it actually cost in in normal life, when it's not on sale. And I was like, oh my gosh, way expensive. And then I do go in with my number 7 Lift and Illuminate again. And I set it real quick, just a little bit of a dab, and I just run it around my eyelid. My other favorite is the Tartlet in Bloom from Tarte. This is not cheap, I realize, but this, I'm telling you, my absolute go-to, these are the ones I know are gonna work. This one works. But I predominantly go these and maybe this one. Yeah, this one's my shimmer I use a lot of. I don't go to the dark very much. To the dark side. If I wanted to go darker, I'd use this one. So this weekend, I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm so excited to be able to have a week this week where I can be normal life. I can just do my job as a YouTuber. Here's where life changes. It was a gorgeous day on Sunday. We went to church. We ate at a Mexican restaurant. I have to tell you something about eating. I will tell you that in a minute. And then Doug and I are like, you know what? It's gorgeous out. Let's ride our bikes around our neighborhood for the first time for the spring, because it literally is in the 60s. And then let's end up at our gym, which is in riding distance. And we'll do weights and stuff, but we'll already be warmed up because we were riding our bikes. I was so excited to actually ride bikes for the first time. I cannot wait to go bike riding again. We decided to go a little bit later, more like 3 or 4-ish. Right now it's like 1:30 or something like that. We had just gotten back from eating out after church. And I'm at my computer editing a video. My phone rings. My husband and my son were here at home with me, so I knew it was Rachel. The first thing she says to me is, "Where are you?" And I could hear it in her voice. I was just in an accident. And I'm like, "Okay, where are you?" And she said, "I'm close." I'm like, "Are you okay?" She was crying. And she said, "My knees hurt." She goes, "But I'm okay. I'm okay, Mom." I figured she's calling me. She can't be that bad. I mean, she's obviously not life-threatening at this point, but I don't know how bad she is. And everything just literally had just happened. More on that in a second. Worst call a mom can get. I guess it would have been worse if the police officer called me. Then it would have been worse, because then I would know she's bad. I'm like, "Doug, Rachel's in an accident. Let's go. Like, we got to go get her." He's like, "Oh no." So we were getting in the car. You know those moments where you're just like, time seems to just warp into slow. You're just like, why does everything seem like it's taking so much longer? So she's on a highway. We're going the opposite direction. We have to go around, and I see her as we're passing by. I see her standing there. So I'm like, Mama's heart's feeling a little better. And it was 3 cars involved. And here I am not doing my makeup. I'm sorry. Mama's heart is scared right now. Well, I run up to her, and she immediately starts crying her eyes out and hugs me, and she's just shaking. And I look over at her car, and this is what I see. And I'm like, oh, she was basically a car sandwich. So she was dead stop at a light in a line of cars. And this woman was about my age, she said, and Rachel said, and I never saw this woman. And she had a daughter about Rachel's age with her. How do you put makeup on and tell you about a stressful story? How do you do this? She says, and we'll just go by what she said, that she was looking at the signs and never saw the cars stopped. She just never saw them. She was probably going 45 to 50, maybe up to 55 miles an hour. She never put on a brake. There were no skid marks that I saw. She just plowed right into the back of Rachel's car, and Rachel drove a Honda Civic. So, tiny car. Rachel hit the guy in front of her, of course, and thankfully she wasn't too far back, and thankfully she didn't come into oncoming cars, because at where she was, there was no median. There was right before it, but not at that point. So thankfully her car didn't turn, because the traffic at the point was terrible. Long story short, because you guys don't need to hear every little detail. I don't think you guys want to hear every detail of it. No, I'm telling you all the details. She was okay. Nobody, the woman who hit Rachel, we think was just, Rachel said, Mom, she looked like she had killed someone. Her face was just white, and just, she was so in shock. They called an ambulance for the woman. They called an ambulance for Rachel, because Rachel said her head was really hurting her. So I said, can I go in the ambulance with her? Is that allowed? And they said, sure, you can come in. So I went in the ambulance with her, and that's how I got this shot. I had Rachel's phone. Her boyfriend was calling her. He said, well, I'm coming. And she's like, you don't have to come. And he's like, I'm coming, which kudos to him for coming. She had whiplash. That was a no-brainer. They basically said she's going to be really sore, but she doesn't have any major damage. Praise the Lord. Because it really looked way worse than it was. I can't cry. I'm trying to put makeup on. She's very sore. She says she can't even put lotion on her neck right here. She's like, Mom, I can't even touch my neck. And I think it's because, you know, you get hit and you go, and it's just, you just pull that muscle. And she does have a bruise in the back of her head, like in her hairline, so you don't really see it. So obviously we didn't go bike riding or go to the gym. If we had gone biking, just God is good. I just want to say, I know not all of you are Christians, and I take this with, I am a believer. So I believe God is watching over me and watching over my family, and He has a plan. I firmly, firmly believe that. And He knew this was going to happen. If we had left immediately after we went out to dinner and gone for our bike ride, Doug was thinking about driving our bikes to another area. If we had done all that, we would have been so far away from her. I know other people, her boyfriend was coming. She could have called my son. You know, there are things that could have happened. I get that. But it's the mom. The mom wants, and she wanted her mom. Oh, I have to tell you that. When she got hit, her phone was not in her hand. It was in a cradle, like, you know, the cradle that you put it in. When she got hit, the whole cradle fell off, and her phone was on the ground somewhere. Apple phones have this thing that can detect if you have fallen or you're in an accident. She said she picked up the phone, and it said, we have detected that you have been in an accident. 911 will be dispatched or something if you do not turn this off. And she had caught it right before it was called. So she turned that off, and then she called me. So I reprimanded her. I'm like, not at that moment. I said to her later that day, I'm like, Rachel, I love that you want your mom there. In the future, I am not your first call. No, nobody is your first call but 911, not me. And she's like, I know, Mom. I'm like, no, Rach. And she goes, but Mom, I was okay. I'm like, you don't know you're not okay. You don't know. You must call 911 first. And then you can call your mom. So she's like, okay. Oh, I didn't say, when I did my eyebrows, I did do powder on my eyebrows along with the e.l.f. Although I am noticing this little bare spot patch. I always have struggle there. Do you guys see it? Do you see my bare patch? I'm gonna fill that in a little bit because that annoys the tar out of me. So we just this afternoon, or this morning, picked up her rental car so she can go back to work. Okay, I have to interject here because I am in the middle of editing this video. So she got her rental, like I just said, and then that Friday, so from Sunday to that Friday, she was leaving her work, and you will not believe, she was sideswiped in her rental car. Some man was trying to get around her and was not being patient. Again, she was stopped at a light again, and he was trying to go around her, but he had a trailer. Oh, my thing just shut off. He had a trailer of 3 cars behind him and did not figure how much space he was, or I don't know, we don't know. He did not speak very good English at all, and sideswiped her, hit her left bumper, the passenger side bumper, and tore a big hole in it. The cops came and she's like, I was hit almost a week ago. I'm driving a rental because my car's totaled. And by the way, her car is totaled. She calls me and she's like, I was just hit again. I'm like, no way. I can't believe. She was obviously fine. But I'm like, man, we're going to bubble wrap you from this point forward. That's the news on Rachel. Bottom line is this. She's okay. And that's all that matters. We'll get a new car. Now I wanted to tell you a little bit of a change. When I was with my sister Barb, I had to do all of their cooking. Obviously, she couldn't get around. She could barely move. She is 100% keto. My sister has rheumatoid arthritis. She's had it for quite a few years. I don't have rheumatoid, but I do have arthritis. It's going to probably go throughout my whole body eventually, but right now it's predominantly in my hands, but it's also a bit in my knees and my hips. My sister Barb has always been a very active person, very active. She's 64 and she was skiing. She lives in snow tundra land in Wisconsin, so they go horseshoeing. Not horseshoeing. Snowshoeing. Horseshoeing. Okay, that makes me laugh. Barb, if you're watching this, I know you're laughing at that. She goes snowshoeing. She does mountain biking. She walks 4 to 5 miles every other day. I'm telling you all this because she went full in on keto because she just was not doing well with the inflammation in her body. She said to me, Bobby, it makes a world of difference. And now I have heard that. Some of you have even said it to me. She literally takes a shot, like a glass shot, not a shot, of olive oil every morning. I just got off the phone with her a couple minutes ago and she goes, oh, I'm up to 2 now. I'm like, it's so gross. Like, how do you do that? But besides that, she is strong keto. Like, she does heavy cream in her coffee, not half and half, because half and half has carbs. She hasn't had a carrot in years, or not very much of it, because of carrots are higher in carbs. She said that the difference in how her body ached and was phenomenal. Like, the lack of carbs made a massive difference for her. I have decided to go back to keto. And I'm doing keto for the inflammation more than the weight loss. The weight loss will be a lovely side effect, I am hoping. But I know that specifically the last couple months, I just haven't felt great. I have felt like I've been bloated. I just don't feel comfortable in my body. So I'm going all in. I've only been doing it a little over a week. I started it not this past Sunday, but the one before. I did lose 2 pounds already, so that's good. But you always lose pounds in the beginning. This might blush too much. It's stronger over here, isn't it? We'll have to adjust that. Like I said in my last kind of life update video, I'm not going to do a midlife to fit life on this yet. I'm going to do it for a while, and I'm going to see how I feel, and then I'll let you guys know. Like, I want to be able to really give a good assessment and not just do a knee-jerk, I'm doing keto now. You know, I'm telling you now, but just because I'm filling you in on what's happening with my life. I do feel a little bit better, but it could also be the placebo effect. One thing I am doing differently is I am mindfully eating on top of that. Before, when I did keto or Weight Watchers or any plan I was on, if it was in plan, I would eat regardless if I was hungry or full. With keto, it was like, well, it's low carb, so it doesn't matter that I'm not hungry right now, I'm going to eat it. That was my mindset. Weight Watchers, the same thing. Well, I'm allowed to eat because it's 0 points. This food, like a fruit or something, is 0 points. I can eat it. And I would overeat, clearly, because I did not lose the weight that I needed to lose. That's the mindset I have got to change. And so I'm going into this journey with keto with the mindset of I will eat when I am hungry and I will stop when I am satisfied. If you're on a weight loss journey and you really want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can go to my Facebook group, Mindful Health, but that is only for women who are over 40 who do want to lose weight. I'm going to link all of the products that I love. I'll link every product that is in this drawer, because in this drawer is all things that work really well for me. Get Ready With Me videos are just one of the most fun videos to do, I think. So I'm gonna link another one right here so you can go to that. Thanks for listening to me babble on about my life. I appreciate it. I'll see you in another one. God bless.